Hi everybody, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be more like about me and my filming, or like a meet the director video. So some of these questions might have come up in the last video that I did where I introduced myself, things about me, some things about like my schooling and stuff. So we'll go over all of that again, but this time it's going to be more directed towards film and the equipment I use, programs that I use like on my computer and everything. So that's what we're going to be doing today. That way you get to know a little bit more about like kind of my setup of things, how I'm doing things, kind of, yeah. So that's what we're doing today. So let's get into the video. So let's start here with what is my job. So my job is obviously film slash social media. I work for myself. School is kind of a job in itself. So we'll get into that. Why did you start film, or what'd you do first? So what I did first was, I remember when I was in 4-H, I did the focus on photography number 1 and 2. Never got to do 3. I didn't get the camera for a long time to be able to do it. It was way after the age of being able to do the 4-H stuff that I finally got the right camera. So I did that, and then I kind of just did like cell phone photography. I did some different photography stuff myself, maybe, mainly cell phone. And then I finally got the camera that I use now for photography, and I didn't use that for probably the first like 2 or 3 years, if actually longer. It's probably been longer because it's like 2 or 3 generations behind. So I didn't use it for the first several years after I bought it. And finally in 2023, after I'd met Brian, I had just gotten out of a job that the prior year, I had just gotten out of a job that was really bad. And it was bad on my physical health and my mental health, and I really just wanted to do something that was going to make me happy. So I started doing photography. Here's edits, pictures that I did. And I did that for a while, and finally Brian told me that I should look into Full Sail and start doing film. And I was like, okay, well, it's not gonna hurt. Needless to say, now I attend Full Sail online, and I'm a student, so that's pretty much the whole journey of how I got into the filming part. I will still do photography, but mainly it's just for videos. I haven't really gone out and tried to photograph anything. I think the last time I even did photographs of anything was after we moved here to New Mexico, and there were some pretty wild sunflowers, and I just took the big camera and did video and then pulled photos from that. So, but yeah, that's pretty much how all that went. What do you enjoy the most or the least about film? I like creating a story in my head and then bringing it to life. And then I especially like the post-production part of everything. I like the editing things together, adding music, adding photos, I like the editing process the best out of the whole thing, which is kind of weird because you think I would like, actually sitting here with the camera and filming it. No, I like the editing part the best. When it comes to, says the least. So when it comes to what I dislike the most, I don't like script writing. I can sit here and come up with a script in my head all day, but when it comes to script writing for film, I hate that. That's not my strong suit. I think I finished that class with a B. It was a high B, but I was kind of worried there for a little bit. I'm just not good at it, and I don't quite understand it. You know, maybe if I did it some more, it would be okay, but I'm just not crazy about the script part of it. Like, if I could sit here and tell somebody, like, here's what's going on in my head, you put it in script form, that would be okay. I'd be fine with that. The other thing I don't like is part of me wants to do it, and then most of me is like, nah, I don't like telling people what to do. So directing, like, I don't know that I could sit. I'm one of those, like, it's really, like, you really have to do something wrong for me to sit here and be telling you, like, hey, that's wrong. So when it comes to directing, I don't know that I would really want to do any directing, because then I'd have to tell people, like, hey, you're doing this wrong. This isn't how I see this in my head. And I don't like that. Like, I don't want to tell someone they're doing it wrong, because, like, your shot might look good. You know, let's say I'm the director. Okay, your shot might look good, but it's not what I want. And I have to tell you what I want, or then I'm just going to end up doing it myself. And it's, yeah, I don't want to do that, because then I feel like that's rude. So, that's what I like the least. What is your favorite project that you've done so far? Probably Tori's Wish. I filmed that. The script for that came from school. It was to replace doing job shadowing hours. So you could pick a script, and then you'd have to get an actor, you'd have to get a location, and film it. So I picked that. I've picked a script. And I told the teacher, I was like, I'm going to have to kind of tweak this to kind of fit. I don't think I've seen a fountain in Albuquerque. And so I told him, I was like, him or her, I don't remember what I had for this. I think I had a him. I told him, I was like, I'm going to have to change it a little bit. Is that fine? And like, yeah, that's fine. So changed it. I had Tori go with me and film it, and then especially, so there's an extended version. There's two versions of it. So the first version was the school version. That's all I had time to film, and I got it done. And it has scenes in it that are cut out that are in the second version. So the second version is what I called the extended version, which there might be an extended version coming out of this. It just kind of depends on where my brain goes with it. Or there might be a sequel to this. I haven't for sure decided. But I knew when I filmed it what else I wanted to do, which was add in the horses. Like, if I'm going to sit here and call it Tori's Wish, well, in the first video, you don't know what she's wishing for. So in the extended version, I have it to where you understand what she's wishing for. She's wishing for horses. She wants to ride. She wants to have a lot of horses. And so that's when that idea came in. So I used Tori's actual horses, and we filmed them running. We got the herd to run, and we filmed it. So that's the one I'm most proud of right now, is that got done, and it really turned out the way I thought of it in my head. I really like it. Favorite video I've done so far. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, and do you have any future projects planned? In 5 years, it's all kind of up in the air. In 5 years, I can see myself still sitting here doing YouTube videos like I am right now, only hopefully they look better, have a better setup. Which when I get my office, that'll be my actual office. I have this right now, and this is not doing it for me. But in 5 years, have my office, still hopefully be doing YouTube videos, possibly doing like some bigger contracts. Ideally, I wanted to work for National Geographic. That was a big thing when I started going to school and everything. I was like, oh, I really want to work for National Geographic. Like, that would be great. Yeah, that'd still be great. I'd still love it. But I don't know how all of that would work. So I don't know if I want to do that. But definitely still be making YouTube videos and kind of doing my own thing, that would be great for me. Any future projects? So, like I said, possibly doing a sequel type thing to Tori's Wish. It was kind of a recent thought. It's not something that I thought about before, like, the last week. So that might be a little bit of a big project that I try to get done sometime coming up if I can think of how I want to do it. As far as any other future big projects, I mean, no. If I could, well, we can go with what I wish I could do is I would love to make a live action Spirit. I think that would be fun. But that would... I almost think that would entail me being the director, and like I said, I don't think I'm going to do that. So, I don't know about that one. Future big projects, really no, other than possibly making the sequel to Tori's Wish. What equipment do you use? Why do you use it? And what is it used for? I started off with doing the photography, and I did that with the Canon EOS Rebel T5, which I still have this camera. I still use it if I want to take pictures. And pretty much that's all I use that camera for, is just still shots. I don't use it to film anything. I don't think I've even ever put that camera on a tripod. So that one is specifically just for taking photos, and that's it. I also have a GoPro Hero 10. I use that one for shots where I need to walk. So the stabilizer in the GoPro is probably one of the best stabilizers that I've ever seen. If you're moving that thing up and down, like, your shots don't look like you're bouncing as much. So I use that if I'm, like, trying to walk or something. And a lot of my footage is done with the GoPro just because of the stabilizing part of it, because I don't have a steady hand. So if I sit here and try to hold something up, like, I mean, you can see it, I shake pretty good. So I use that for the stabilizer. And the other one that I have the Sony Cinema Line FX6. That came from school, and that is the camera that the school has us using. So school projects, so like Tori's Wish. That entire video was filmed with my FX6. Other school projects, like the Darcy's Journey, anything about that horse, that was all filmed with the school camera, and I use that one if I need to have really nice clear shots that I can stick it on the tripod. So the GoPro is used because I don't have a gimbal. If I had a gimbal, then I would probably not hardly use the GoPro at all, except for like a vlogging type thing or us going on vacation or something, which I use that for anyway. But the FX6 is the one where if I can stick it on the tripod and still get the shot and it look good, and I don't need the extra stabilizer, then I use that. And I try to use it the most because that's what the school requires. If I can get away with using the GoPro for shots where I have to move, not the camera specifically, but where I have to move because I don't have a gimbal, then I use the GoPro. So, next one is, what do you want to learn? I think this was in the last About Me video, and I think the question was, what's something that you want to learn? So, it's still the same thing. I would like to learn how to do sound better. I know I need a different, microphone for the camera, because then my sound quality would be a lot better on my videos than what it is. And then just like post editing, like I've figured out a lot better how to do the music. So like how to do ups and downs. Like, you know, it needs to come in here, fade out here, fade in here, fade out here. I've been trying to fiddle with that a little bit more and figure that out better. So I've gotten better in that sense. But some of these people like make music and stuff. So, you know, maybe trying to learn something like that, and just some sound in general would be nice to learn. What type of projects are your main focus? Documentaries or like true stories are probably, so mainly probably documentary. And I say documentary because like right now I'm documenting about me, you know. I'm telling the story about me. So true story, documentary. The only other thing I can say is it goes along with the whole Tori's Wish thing, is now that I've started that, my head is kind of making more. So that's why I said possibly doing a sequel to that, is my head is kind of like, okay, well, we could do something else where we do this or this. So I don't want to say that I'm limited to documentaries or true story, but there could be other, you know, kind of made fictional stories or something like that. It's a kind of, it depends thing. What do you want people to gain from your videos? I don't know, probably probably a good laugh, because I feel like I look pretty stupid, you know. I don't know that I necessarily want anyone to learn from me, because I'm still learning myself. I'm always going to learn, so it's not like this is oh, here, I'm teaching you how to do this. Like, I'm not doing that. But probably just have a good time watching, you know, seeing kind of what my life is like, how it differs from, you know, them or me. And like I said, getting a good laugh, because I'm sure I look pretty dang dumb sometimes. Ooh, good one. What strategies do you use when you film? First, I come up with a game plan in my head of this is what I want to do, this is what needs to be in there, and then I usually write that down. So like a lot of things, like right now I have this. I write my game plan down, make sure that I like fine tune everything. So if I write, a lot of times when I write it down, I don't write it down in order of how I want it to go. I just write the idea down, and then I have to go back and rewrite everything in order. So I'll rewrite what I wrote, put it in order of how I want it done, and then I execute it, you know. If I planned out this is what I want to film, well then I film it. So, and then after that, I just edit everything together in the way that I want to edit it, and then that's it. I try to make it pretty easy. Double writing things is probably not the easiest way to do it, but it makes me happy if I see it in, you know, like this. Like, it makes me happy if I see it in person. So, what responsibilities do you have when filming? I do everything. I mean, I've had some help here and there. Like, Brian will sometimes be there, and I can have him help me, or someone somehow help. Someone usually manages to help me somehow. But no, other than that, like, I do everything myself. I bring all the equipment, I set it all up, I film everything myself, and then tear it all back down, and then go home and I edit. The only thing that I really have help with is I'll go out to the living room and be like, hey, Brian, can you come watch this and tell me how it looks? So he'll come and watch it, and he'll be like, yeah, looks great. And I'm like, okay, well, that's it then. Do any of your stories involve things that have happened to you or to loved ones? Talking about stories. So, maybe you could say Tori's Wish probably happened to me, because as a kid I really wished for horses, and then I eventually got horses. Nothing I've done so far has... Right. Well, no, I did the documentary about, like, Darcy and everything. I don't know. I mean, yeah and no. Like, if I'm on here right now kind of telling you, then yeah. But as far as like, I think maybe this was like made up story, like a made up story. So as far as like anything that I have kind of come up with in my head that was a made up story, yeah, that's quite a few things are based off of real things that have happened to me or other people I know. I haven't actually like written any of it down or typed it out or made a video of it. So yes and no. We'll kind of leave that one. Maybe that's a question for like another time way later on in my career. So is it costly to make a film? Yes and no. So if you're somebody like me who's pretty much just starting out, and remember a lot of my stuff came from school. So like the editing program and everything, my school paid for that for now. Like until I think it extends to like a year after school, I get to use the Adobe suite. So eventually, yes, I'll have to pay for a lot more things. But is it costly to make a film? Yes and no. If you're a big time person, then yeah, it's gonna cost quite a bit. If you're someone like me, right now, no. Like usually I just spend gas money to film. Especially if it's for myself, I'm somehow spending gas or food money. So I wouldn't say it's too bad yet for me. I'm sure later on that might change. What is something you wish you knew before film? Not sure exactly where this question is going. Probably could say, like I said in the other video, I wish that I would have done the broadcasting class that my high school had. Because Caleb went through that. Caleb went through the broadcasting class. So he got like a touch of the film stuff before I ever did. And I wish I would have done that, because then I may have figured out like, oh, I like film a lot sooner, instead of doing it when I'm almost 30. So I wish I would have actually tried to film before now and, tried it. We'll go with that. Who is your target audience? Anyone who wants to watch. I don't know why you'd want to watch any of this. Everyone. I mean, like I said in my last video, I don't have any one specific hobby. So you're gonna see a lot of different things on this channel. Like, somehow it's all gonna pertain to film. Anyone who wants to watch. Anyone who wants to watch, you're more than welcome, and you're my target audience. What type of YouTube videos do you plan to make? I got a lot. So, if I'm doing a sewing project, you're gonna see a video about sewing. If I'm gaming, you're like Let's Plays. You're gonna be seeing some Let's Plays coming up. Channel reviews was kind of something I was thinking, where like I kind of go through like a video or two on someone's channel, and it's a channel that I follow. I'm not gonna do channels that I don't follow. It's gonna be, I'm reviewing channels that I follow on YouTube. And then of course you're gonna see more school stuff, for like the rest of this year. There's gonna be school stuff. Nature, like I like time lapses. I like filming nature, so there might be like some of that mixed in with everything later on. And then documentary, and vlogs. So, documentary type thing where kind of like right now, like I'm answering questions but telling about myself type of thing. Vlogs, so when I actually get to travel, like the 2024 vacation that we took that I still have not gotten done, I've got, that's on the vlogging lines. If I go somewhere else, like, if I go on cruise again this year, well, there's another sort of vlog type thing that I'm gonna do. Alright, so that's all I have for today. I didn't really have a lot of questions based on this. If you guys think of anything else that maybe you want to ask that's along the filming lines, please feel free to put those in the comments. I will try to make sure I answer everything. That's all I have for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you when I make the next one.